it's Katie with S&B, and today we're going to install our open air intake kit, part number 756000, that fits the 2011 to 2016 Ford Powerstroke 6.7 liter. So let's get started. We're going to start by disconnecting the negative terminals on both batteries, as well as the positive on the passenger side. Disconnect the mass airflow sensor by pulling back the red locking tab, pushing down, and pulling out. Loosen the clamp securing the intake tube to the turbo inlet, and the clamp securing the intake tube to the stock air box. Remove the two bolts, one securing the intake tube and then one securing the air box to the battery tray. Disconnect all the coolant lines and hoses from the intake tube. With all that done, now you can remove the air box from the vehicle. To remove the intake tube, make sure all the hoses are disconnected. Turn to the side and pull up. Now you're going to want to remove this bracket, and in order to do that, you're going to have to remove these two bolts. Put one of the bolts to the side because you will reuse it later. In order to make room for the largest filter possible, we have to remove this stock inlet piece. And in order to do that, we're going to have to remove the grill from the vehicle. Luckily, it's super easy, just a few steps, so I'm going to walk you through it. And you're going to start by removing these 4 bolts. Once you remove the bolts, you can lean the grill back a little bit, take a flathead screwdriver, and pop out the 5 clips to fully remove it from the vehicle. Once it's unclipped, you should be able to remove it pretty easily. To remove the headlight, you'll need to remove these 4 bolts from the vehicle. And for the bottom one, you'll need a socket extension. Once those are removed, you can remove the headlight from the vehicle. Now you'll have a little bit of room to remove the 3 harnesses. Push the wires through this opening on the air inlet. It's time to remove this piece from the vehicle, and in order to do that, you'll just remove all the plastic rivets that are securing it down. Install the grommet onto the support bracket. Install the support bracket into the vehicle using the bolt that you removed earlier, and then you're going to push the AC lines so they sit underneath the bracket. In order to make sure that the support bracket is in the correct position, you'll install the intake tube onto the turbo, insert the prong into the grommet, and tighten down the bolt securing the bracket. Install the intake tube into the filter. Make sure you push it all the way down. You'll note that the filter is installed correctly if the location marks are aligned. Once that's done, you'll just tighten it down. Uninstall the mass airflow sensor from the stock kit. Install the gasket adapter and mass airflow sensor into the intake tube in that order and secure it down using the provided hardware. Once your new S&B open air intake is fully assembled, you can now install it into the vehicle. I went ahead and installed the intake tube under the metal coolant line and attached it to the turbo inlet. And then you're going to push down on the tube and make sure the prong is fully seated in the grommet that's attached to the support bracket, and then you'll tighten down the clamp. Reconnect the headlight harnesses. Slide the headlight back in place and reinstall the 4 screws. Reinstall the grill by lining up the clips and snapping it in. Reinstall the 4 screws that you had removed earlier. I rerouted the mass airflow sensor harness around the filter, and I'm going to connect the extension harness to it. Take the other end and connect it to the mass airflow sensor. You're going to have a little bit of extra slack, so you're going to want to secure it down to the battery cable using a zip tie, just so it stays out of the way of anything that could hurt it. To protect the intake tube from rubbing against the coolant line, use the provided foam wrap. Now that the intake's fully installed, don't forget to reconnect the positive terminal on the passenger side and the negative terminals on both sides. Alright, so that's how you install the open air intake kit for the 2011 to 2016 Powerstroke. So it's a super easy install, but if you have any other questions or you just want to know more, you can always check it out on our website or you can give us a call, and I'll see you next time.